Let's hate on books today, shall we? I think we shall. Why is this kind of giving Edward Cullen? Like, is this not giving Edward Cullen? I think it kind of is. This is not the vibe today. The vibe was for another outfit, which by the time this is out and by the time that video is out, you will know what the vibe was for in that video. So yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. Filming 3 videos at once, it's hard. It's hard, not gonna lie. I've done 2 before. That's not hard at all. But filming 3, yeah, that's hard. And especially one specific video that I'm having to do is I'm having to give all my time and attention to that one, but I'm still trying to give attention to videos like this one and in videos like the other one. So if this video is super like long or like dragging on, just click off of it. I don't even know what I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, today we are sitting down to talk about my February reads. Woohoo! Round of applause. If you cannot tell, I am not in the mood today. But I think talking about books will maybe February was a bit of a rocky month for me. It had a bunch of ups and downs and kind of like middle ground. So, let's hit on books, shall we? I think we shall. Okay. So the first book I read this month was a reread, actually, so it was 5 stars. This book had been previously 5 stars, so it counts my goal as being my first 5-star reads. I have not found a 5-star read this year so far in all the books that I have read. In all the books I've read this year, as like I said before, I have not found a 5-star read yet. This is just a reread, and that is Keeping 13 by Chloe Wash. Now this is a 5-star, this is one of my Infinity reads. I love Chloe Wash. Chloe Wash is my favorite, one of my favorite authors. I don't know if she's my favorite author, but I know that this series is my favorite series, and I don't have a favorite book, but I mean, if I had to say, I probably would tell you Binding 13, just based on now, like how I am with books. I'd probably tell you that one, but it's for my Infinity reads. I wanted to get it tabbed, so I have it tabbed now. There's a lot of tabs in this one, so now all my copies are tabbed together. I forgot how chunky this one was, but basically this is book 2 in the Boys of Tommen series. It follows Johnny Kavanagh and Shannon Lynch on their journey and navigating their relationship, and Shannon's hardships and Johnny's hardships, and basically what it's like to be in a relationship and stay in one in Ireland during the early 2000s. It's like why do I sound like so superficial today? I sound like I'm like calm. Like I'm actually calm for once. And I'm actually like monotone. Like that description could be like the description of like a movie or like a Wattpad romance. That's not intended. Nice catch, cheer. Not me, quarterback. I'm sorry, I had to do it. But yes. I love this book so much. Oh my god, this book, cry. It's heartfelt, like, Gipsy, all the characters, they're just my everything. Like, these characters make me happy a lot. So, I very much enjoyed Keeping 13, and I pretty much will read anything that this author puts out. For the most part, I probably will after I finish Boys of Tommen. I haven't finished that series yet. Still 2 books left from the books that we have right now that are out. So yes, I think that's another problem too, is I've been buying books again. Yeah, so we also have that problem as well. I only have 3 of the books currently with me, so that's one of them. I'm going to go through all the ones that I have like physically, and then I will show them up on the screen or whatever. I'll edit them like into this video. And then I have The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This one, I have like 2 or 3 tabs as well. Yeah, 3 tabs. This was a 4.5 stars. Much better. I gave my least favorite author a second chance, and that's true. Like, I hated Better Than the Movies. Like, I think now if I were to read it, it would be hilarious. I think that, like, that I can make into a video, and that would be like a crazy, because I'd be like the only person that hates it. I'd be like, giving my least favorite author a second chance at the same book that I hated by her. But this one, my favorite book of hers, I've only read 2, so definitely this one's so much better. I love this one. I just felt that the story was lagging a little bit for me, and I felt that the reason that Nick, the main interest, like love character, like the book boyfriend or whatever, I felt like Nick was, I felt like the reason that he, his reason, I just didn't like it. I felt like it could have been a different reason. Now I know people who know the reason are gonna be like, oh my god, I cannot believe you'd say that. Yes, I know that reason is sad or whatever, but like, she could have given us another reason that would have been better or whatever. So but yes, I highly recommend this one. This one's set on Valentine's Day, so this was my Valentine's Day plan. But yes, I very much enjoy this one, and I highly recommend you read it, even if you don't read it on Valentine's Day. But this one was good. Then I have How to Fail at Flirting by Denise Williams, which this was also a 4.5 stars. I absolutely love this book. This book deserves a lot more hype than it gets. Like, this reminded me of It Ends With Us vibes, but like changed the plot line. So basically the plot line for How to Fail at Flirting is our professor, Nia Turner is her name. She's this professor at this university, and she hasn't dated in over 3 years, and so she's looking for, you know, like a new start, like a new kind of thing to keep her, you know, like she's looking for a guy, all right? She's looking for a quick, easy guy just to, you know, deal with. And, anyway, she finds the guy. Then they start talking, getting in a relationship, and they realize, oh yeah, this is not going to be a no strings, this is going to be like everything. So basically, like, they, you know, start committing more and more, and then she finds out what his job is, and it could, you know, like, basically, like, ruin their whole relationship. And then Nia's abusive ex, who has come back to her town, and so that's another conflict that we have going on, and her trying to resolve that. But what I really love at the back of the book, this book made me cry. That's how sad it was. But I love the characters, the found family. The relationship was so sweet. But the author put a little, you know, like, thing for the domestic hotline or whatever, National Domestic Violence Hotline, because the things that he did to her ex, were not okay. And I just want to make that clear, that, like, if you are in an abusive relationship, or that you know somebody that is, you need to make it known, like, that it's not okay, and it will never be okay. So, like, there needs to be some kind of, like, middle ground where that person needs to get help, whoever it is, whoever it may be. If it's you need help, or somebody else, I would just recommend getting help. But those are the books that I have physically with me. But yes, I read 6 books this month, just for, you know, future reference, because my goal is 6 a month. But yes, these are the books. I think the next book that I want to talk about is Layla by Colleen Hoover. That one I rated a 4.25 star, or was that one a 4 star? 4 point. Let me think about this for a minute. That one was 4 stars. That one was 4 stars. Layla by Colleen Hoover. So that was my second ever Colleen Hoover book. You know, I'd read Verity. That was a 5 stars. And I was disappointed, to say the least, for Layla. Yeah, I didn't, you know, it's hard to talk about it because it is a thriller, so, like, I don't want to give away too much. I want you to go in blindly or whatever. But basically the plot line follows this guy named Leeds and his girlfriend Layla. You know, they meet or whatever at the beginning of the book. They start, you know, liking each other. Then something tragic happens to both Leeds and Layla, but it affects Layla a lot more. And basically it follows them through the aftermath of this devastation. And, well, basically it's a story about how to navigate that and how to overcome that. So I was thinking that this is gonna be, you know, like a sweet, like, you know, like a sad story, but then it ends up sweet. I didn't realize it was a thriller at all. And the most shocking part about it was that the very first day, I guess, like, I think there's like 3 plot twists in this book. Let me see. The first one, I knew something was weird, but I didn't know that it was that. The second one, I did guess. The third one, I didn't, and the third one was probably like the whole like chain of reactions kind of thing. So no, that one I didn't get, but I didn't particularly enjoy it. It seemed very weird. Like, it was a weird, like, I don't know how Colleen Hoover comes up with these ideas because they are so different that, like, I'm like so confused as to like what is she, how does she think these thoughts and then they just like appear on the page. Like, I think that it's like crazy that she's able to like make these you know, like thoughts and ideas in her head and then write them down on a piece of paper and then them be turned into a book. Like, I think it's crazy. It's absolutely mind-blowing that she can do that. But if you don't want to know any spoilers for Layla, because I probably will go ahead and, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell the people who, you know, have already read Layla or just don't really care to read Layla. I will put the time on the screen for what to skip to, so you don't get any spoilers if you aren't going to read it. So, Layla and Leeds. So, Leeds has an ex named Sage. And Sage, well, she finds out, because one night after Leeds posts a picture of Layla on his Instagram, she finds out that he's with somebody else. Now, Leeds, they were used to date. So, Sage pulls up to the apartment the next morning and she shoots both Leeds and Layla in the head. Well, she shoots Layla in the head. Layla survives, Leeds survives. He didn't get shot too bad. He got shot in the leg, I think, is what it said. But after Layla went to the hospital, she suffered from like memory loss and damage to her brain and how to walk and like all these different like weird things that happen. And so basically we're following Layla and Leeds is trying to like navigate his relationship with her because like there's so many memories that she's lost, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, she's memory lost, it's fine. There's so many things that she forgot how to do or that she forgot that she did with Leeds, and he's like, oh yeah, it's fine, you know, she just forgot. Basically he takes her back to the place where they met, and weird stuff starts happening there, and Leeds finds out that there's a ghost in this hotel mansion place wherever he takes her. And so this ghost can take the place of Layla, like in her body, and that's how the ghost and Leeds communicate. And so Leeds and the ghost start talking. I forgot the ghost's name now. Yeah, I forgot it. I can't. I don't even know what that was. I thought I was gonna be reversed. Yeah, right. And so at first, you know, Leeds starts really warming up to this ghost, and he's like, oh my god, you know, I feel like I can share my thoughts with this person or this ghost or whatever, and I can like be normal with this. And this ghost has memories of Leeds and Layla that Layla doesn't have. And so it's like really weird, right? Like that's when you start to question things. You're like, that's not right. You know, like that's not how it happens. Like that's weird that this ghost has more memories than Layla does, like of their interactions with Leeds. And so Leeds and falls in love with this ghost, and you know, they start kissing, you know, kind of thing. They fall in love, and he falls out of love with Layla. He realizes, yeah, no, I'm not in love with her anymore. And so then Leeds thinks that the ghost is Sage, his ex. That's who he thinks it is. And so that's why he's like, no, you know, get out of here, kick to the curb, you know, I'm leaving you, me and Layla, we're going. And then that's when he starts like kind of like warming back up to Layla. And then Leeds invites somebody to come like investigate the whole situation, like a ghost, like a paranormal expert or whatever. And he starts investigating, and he says, this ghost whatever sage, is it a sage? Maybe it's sable. Wait, no, I said the wrong, and I said something about another book I'm reading. I said a spoiler. You won't get it unless you've read the book. I'm not going to say what it is, though, so, like, don't worry about it. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my god, I'm about to start crying right now because I feel so bad. But, so Sable, that's her name, Sable. And the guy says that when Sable shot Layla's soul, Sable's soul switched bodies. So Layla is the ghost, her soul. Sable is who's in Layla right now. They swapped bodies, is what happened. And Lee's at first like, man, what are you talking about? Like, that's real. That's not real. That's fake. Like, what? Like, where in your right mind are you coming up with that? And then he's like, oh yeah, wait, nope. Yeah, you're right. You know, I see it now. I see that. You know, it's not fake. It's actually real. So basically, then Leeds kills Layla. So then Layla's soul, or Sable's soul, switches to the ghost. Layla switches back to Layla. And then that's how the book ends. And, well, it was very abrupt, to say the least. And, you know, I found myself questioning my morals and values. So I think I'm going to take a break from Colleen Hoover, at least from her mysteries and thrillers, because I think that they're starting to take a toll on my health. So, yeah. But that's Layla by Colleen Hoover for you. Then I read The Heir by Kira Cass, which is the fourth book out of 5 in the selection series, which is a selection series I read last year starting in January. I read the first 3 books. I think I finished the last one in March. So it's been almost a year since I read those. And those follow a girl who, it's basically like a bachelorette, but like the one guy's trying to figure it out, like 25 girls. And that's how, you know, they fell in love, of course. What else would they do? Yeah. And so they fell in love and they had a kid. And they had you know, the first one gets the crown. So they had twins. And the twins were off by 7 minutes. And the girl of the twins was born first, like the 7 minutes. They were 7 minutes apart. So she is the leader. So it's her fighting for like her attention for 25 guys instead. So it's different. It's called The Heir by Kira Cass. And that one is the one that I rated 4.25 stars. Because that one was honestly really interesting. Like those, they're trash. Like they're utter trash. Like don't get me wrong. Like I love Kira Cass. I love her writing. Like I love her as an author. I mean, I have multiple 5 stars from her. I think I have like 3 or 4 or 5 stars. I like the 7 books I read of hers. I'll have to calculate it later. But like, wait, hold on. Let me do this. I read 6 books. Out of those 6 books that I've read, let's see. Yeah, I think 4 or 5 of those were 5 stars, which is utterly ridiculous. Well, that's my other goal this year, is to like rate lower, like, or just like rate like fairly and harshly, which I know sounds bad, but like, because like last year I was just like handing out 5 stars to every single book, and well, you can't do that, buddy. You can't do that. Let's say, yeah. So it was really good, to be honest. Like I forgot how much I missed that world, and you know the main character herself reminded me a lot of me. Like I saw myself in her and how she acted and how she is as a person, and I was like, I want to be like that as a person, you know, like I want to be that one, you know, like I want to be that role model, or that image is what I want to create for myself. So I thoroughly enjoyed that one. So I have 1 more book left in the series. I'll definitely read that one. I want to acquire that series this year. I want to start expanding my library, maybe even putting stuff over here. You can't see this, but this wall is like completely empty, and this one's empty a little bit. It's not much space over here, but yeah, I want to get more, you know, books and I want to have more shelves and stuff. Can you believe it's already March? So yes, this is what I want to be able to gather and acquire those things, and but I thoroughly enjoyed that one. So I highly recommend the selection series in general. And even if you don't read the first story, you can read those. It's this one and the last one. That's it for this story, Edelyn, Princess Edelyn. So, I mean, honestly, just jump ahead if you want to. I mean, it just gives you a better understanding if you read them, because you see characters come back. So, yeah, I highly recommend. Where do I start with Lovely War by Julie Berry? DNF. That's where we'll start. This is my I had DNF, the first ever DNF of this year. Woohoo, let's go. Let's have a party for not finishing books. We love this so much, you know? I heart not finishing books. Just kidding. That was cringy. But I rated it 2.75 stars from what I had read. It was like a 450-page book. And I read 200 pages. I got like about 200 pages into it. So let's start with the stuff that I didn't like. All right, first of all, I was trying a new genre. I was reading historical fiction, which I've never read historical fiction before. So I know that historical fiction, at least that type of ones, are not for me. Second of all, it was set in wartime. I don't like war. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of war. Third of all, the language. Like, the language I wasn't prepared for, and what they were saying, what they're talking about, and that I wasn't ready for. And then fourth of all, I felt like the author was trying to push an agenda, and that certain agenda that the author was pushing, I didn't like. Now, again, you can push agendas, or you can have certain things in books. Don't shove it down my throat, though, because this author, the way that she's writing the book, I felt like she just kept bringing up how she wanted it to go down my throat, but I didn't want that. And that happened, and I'll get into that. But basically, probably my biggest problem with the agenda part, there's a lot of different things. I won't get to every single one because it probably will not make you want to read this. But this is just like a heed warning. I mean, you could do a Google search and find this out. This is nothing that it's gonna spoil it. So there's two different couples in this book, from what I understand, and one is a heterosexual, which is guy and girl, for those of you who don't know, and then one is same sex, from what I heard. I don't know who it was because I didn't get that far into the book, but I assumed that it was going to be girl to girl is what I assumed it was going to be. I'm not sure, because so that's the other thing, is I was told it's going to be one heterosexual and then one same sex. I started reading it, and the couples were boy and girl. So I was super confused, how is this going to work out? And that I can read, okay, so don't get me wrong. I like LGBTQ people. I'm not LGBTQ myself, so therefore it's hard for me to read about that kind of stuff, not being it myself, not understanding what those people go through. So I find it very weird and uncomfortable to read those type of books. I have done it before. One of Us Is Lying series. I read that one was good. That one, I felt like she didn't shove it down my throat. That's the thing. Is this author, I felt like, was shoving it down my throat. She kept bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up, along with the racism and rapeism, both of those things, and different how women were treated and how men were treated, especially the Black community, and all these different things that she was bringing up that I didn't want to read about. I just wanted to read a story, man. I just wanted to read a story. I didn't want to know all those different things. I wanted a happy-go-lucky story, not a killing and violence and agendas and that I can go out into my world and go watch the news for. I don't need that in a book. I want to keep it clean, happy, fun. So that also upset me. I think that's everything I didn't like. Oh, the writing. I think because it was historical fiction, I didn't like the way it was very flowy writing. It was a very flowy writing, which that I probably also didn't like as well. as I was saying, the flowy writing, I don't like flowy writing. I like it very like clear, precise cut, like kind of like indie authors. So that way, I didn't really like it. No, yeah, I didn't like it like that. But I think that's the only thing. All right, so the other thing I did discover is that I love Greek mythology because it's told by Aphrodite, and I love it when Greek gods, because all Greek gods told the story, which that I loved. So that I will be finding more like Greek mythology reads and stuff. I think there's one series specifically that's about Persephone and Hades, which I think that one I want to read because it's like a dark romance, which makes sense. But like that one, I think specifically I want to read, and then I think I want to read the Never After series, because like those I feel like I can do, and those sound good, and those are clear and cut and precise wording. So yeah, so yeah, I definitely do like the writing, or not the writing, Greek gods. But I think that's the only thing that I liked. I think I learned more about my reading taste from that experience, and I'm glad that I did. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed me ranting about loving, hating, not even liking books, about spoiling the whole entire plot of books. So yeah, thank you so much for supporting me through this journey and continuing to watch my videos. My goal this year is, just to grow as a book talker or a book creator, booktuber, bookstagrammer. I have all of my links down below for everything. I love you all so very much, and I hope that you continue to come back and watch my videos. So thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!